Yoga is the journey of the self, through the self, to the self. These words capture the essence of what we celebrate on June 21, when the world observes International Yoga Day, not merely as an annual event, but as a global tribute to India's ancient knowledge tradition that guided humanity towards balance of mind and soul as well as body. Today, as the world grapples with rising stress, depression, lifestyle diseases, environmental imbalance, and social fragmentation, India has once again stands as a beacon of hope for humanity through yoga. This is an invaluable gift of India's cultural and spiritual heritage, one that the global community is now embracing with genuine recognition. Yoga emerged from India's ancient Indian knowledge system with its principles systematically elaborated in the Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, texts that form the foundational canon of this holistic knowledge tradition. In Indian thought, yoga is not merely physical exercise, it is a holistic way of living. Its purpose is to connect the individual to oneself, to society, and to nature, and ultimately to the highest consciousness. The relevance of yoga has grown even more in the rush of modern life. Technology has made daily tasks easier, yet stress, anxiety, and mental imbalance have surged alongside it. Yoga has emerged as an effective medium for establishing balance between body and mind. Regular yoga practice not only strengthens physical health but also plays an important role in the development of mental peace of mind, emotional stability, and a positive outlook as well. Today, I want to talk about something fascinating: the physics and biology behind yoga. Yoga is unique because it helps us make our bodies fit and healthy without machines, weights, or external implements. It uses only our body and gravity and controls stretching. So, what exactly is the science behind yoga? Every yoga posture is a practical application of forces. The main force involved is gravity. Instead of resisting gravity with machines, yoga uses gravity as a natural training partner. For example, in forward bends, gravity gently pulls the upper body downward, helping muscles and connective tissues stretch. In balancing poses, the body constantly adjusts its center of gravity to maintain stability. When we hold a pose, muscles generate force to counteract our body weight. This develops strength, balance, and coordination. Unlike sudden gym movements, yoga applies force gradually, reducing stress on joints while improving flexibility and posture. While the study of physics may sound a million miles away from yoga, they may actually have a very close relationship. From energy to forces, physics plays a very important part in all areas of yoga. And when we take the cat or the cow pose, which is called Marjasana or the Bitila Asana, and choose to mindfully push our hands, shins, and tops of the feet into the ground, the earth will push back with the same force. This is the opposite and equal reaction. We can let the feeling of this force travel up our limbs and use it to maximize the flexion or the forward bend cat stretch of our spine. We are literally drawing forces from the earth to help us in our movements. The Earth's atmospheric pressure is another area of physics that we use unknowingly in yoga. Pranayam often involves mindful inhaling and exhaling, but the cleansing Kapalbhati focuses on the exhale only. How can we not need to inhale in this?
Welcome viewers, you're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now tomorrow of course is International Yoga Day, the 21st of June. And today we're going to be talking about the easiest yoga asanas. But before that viewers, let me tell you that yoga no longer is confined to traditional studios. Today we're talking about mental health, and with the kind of stress that all of us have in our work lives and our personal lives, yoga is an easy respite when it comes to our mental health, our body, our flexibility. And now people, especially in the West, are adopting yoga not just for its flexibility benefits and what it does to the body, but also how good it is for our mental health. So let me now just tell you viewers that experts say that, when people begin yoga, when we talk about beginners, they often start and quit yoga because they think that yoga requires extreme flexibility. But in reality, several foundational poses can be learned within days and form the basis of a lifelong yoga journey. So, for all the quitters, in fact, let me just tell you that, through school, I was made to do yoga. And then when I grew up, I decided to join a yoga class, but quit very soon because I thought that it was just perhaps something that was a slow exercise. But now, as I'm growing older, I'm realizing that how important yoga really is, not just for the body's flexibility, but truly for the mind. Now, let's just talk about, as I was telling you earlier, the easiest yoga poses that you can adopt as a beginner and begin your journey with something as wonderful as yoga, which we must all be so proud of, because that's of course come out from India. Now, let me just begin with Tadasana. Now, why is it among the easiest asanas in yoga, viewers? Now, this is because this is a natural standing position. And the fact really is that there is no major flexibility requirement. People go in with that notion that you have to be flexible to do something like yoga, but that's something that you acquire with time as you do it. Now, it's suitable. As I said, Tadasana is a regular standing position. There's no major flexibility requirement, and it's suitable for all age groups. So from young to old, yoga is something that all of us can really do in our lives. It builds posture awareness and body alignment, which is important. In the days that, we have sedentary lifestyles when it comes to our workplaces, we don't have too much activity. So yoga is something that you can just, draw a mat at home and do. You don't need to go to the gym. That's something that you can do anywhere. Now, let's talk about the key talking points of Tadasana. It appears deceptively simple, teaches weight distribution through both feet, and it improves balance and posture. It's the foundation for many standing yoga poses. So that is Tadasana. And let me just tell you that, there's an interesting fact around Tadasana. Yoga instructors often call it the mother of all standing poses. The visual cue, of course, is side-by-side comparison of slouch posture versus correct Tadasana posture. So your posture has to be absolutely correct, which is extremely important in yoga. Now, viewers, the point really is that the simplest poses are often the most powerful. What does Tadasana teach us? It teaches us how to stand correctly, which is a skill many of us unknowingly lose in our desk-bound lifestyles. So even for me, viewers, when I'm at work, sometimes I forget to keep my back erect and I slouch and sit on a chair, which is absolutely not good for the spine. So if you do adopt yoga into your life and something like Tadasana, it will, among other things, teach you to stand erect, to have the right standing posture. It's very important to keep the spine erect when you're sitting as well. Now let me go across to get to the next asana that we're talking about. Let's talk about the Balasana, which is a child's pose. That's what it's called. The Tadasana is called the mountain pose, and the Balasana is called the child's pose. Now let me tell you about it. Why is it essential? Because it's a resting posture, it requires minimal strength, and it can be practiced by beginners immediately. The key benefits, let me tell you about that. We were discussing the spine, which is of course extremely important in our body. The Balasana relaxes the lower back. It gently stretches the hips and thighs and helps reduce stress and mental fatigue. It's frequently used between challenging yoga sequences. So this is of course an asana that you do between challenging yoga poses. Let me tell you about an interesting fact. Now, many yoga instructors use Balasana as a reset button during practice. So when you're doing these strenuous asanas, Balasana is of course used as a pause button between these strenuous ones to give you a kind of a reset. Now, the visual cue is the practitioner resting in child's pose after a workout. So that is, of course, the kind of pose that it is. And in a world, viewers, that celebrates constant activity, child's pose reminds us that rest itself can be a powerful form of wellness. So when we talk about adequate sleep these days, the three mantras of diet, exercise, and adequate sleep, yoga, of course, is also a part of that routine that all of us can adopt, considering the kind of stress that all of us have in our lives today. Let me talk about the third easiest asana that you can do at home. The cat-cow stretch, which is also called the Marjarasana Betalasana. So let's just remember it as a cat-cow stretch. Now, why is it easy? Gentle spinal movement is what this asana involves. There's no balance challenge and is ideal for first-time practitioners. Now, what are the key benefits of this asana? Enhances spiritual flexibility, spinal flexibility, and surely your spiritual flexibility as well. Improves mobility, coordinates breath movement, and helps counter long hours of sitting. So that's again a problem. Perhaps viewers will also adopt this asana because my job also involves a lot of sitting. Now, the interesting fact is that it's frequently recommended by physiotherapists and yoga therapists. And the visual cue is smooth cat-cow movement sequence. So, viewers, how this helps is that a few repetitions can help release stiffness in the back, in the neck, in the shoulders, in the spine, and these are areas where modern lifestyles create the most tension. So we're living in an age, viewers, where we've forgotten to go out and exercise, where we have less activity, unfortunately. For 9 hours, we're just on our chairs, on our laptops. So this is how these asanas can help you change that. Now, yoga mastery, viewers, remember, begins with the basics. And consistency matters more than complexity. So one thing that you have to remember is that your posture has to be right. What you're doing, as much as possible, has to be correct. The posture is important, but consistency, as they say, matters more than complexity. And let's remember that even when we start an exercise, when we start going for a walk or for a jog, they tell you to get into the habit by doing it for 10 minutes every day or 15 minutes every day. That also applies to yoga. Now, let me also tell you that even simpler poses deliver measurable physical and mental benefits. So you don't have to get to a complicated kind of a scenario when you start. You can do something as simple as this, as basic, and do it every day. Even beginning with a Surya Namaskar every day in the morning will show you benefits in the long run, but the condition is that you're consistent. Now, yoga is not, viewers, about just touching your toes or performing impossible looking poses. It begins with awareness, as I was telling you, breathing, and simple movements that anyone can practice almost very safely. So I want to wish you all a very happy International Yoga Day 2026, and let's just begin our wellness journey with that. Perhaps I'm going to sign up for my class as well very soon. Thank you so much for watching NewsX, and stay tuned for more such updates.